and welcome to another episode of today's GK. I am Pooja Divedi, and in this segment we bring to you objective questions on a daily basis to help you achieve the goal of cracking prelims. So let's begin with the practice question of last segment. Consider the following statements with reference to Hampi. Hampi is the 14th century capital of the Vijayanagar Empire located in the Tungabhadra basin. Temples of Hampi are noted for their large dimensions, florid ornamentation, bold pillars which include subjects from the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. In 1986, Hampi was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. Now you have to look at the statements for that. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A 2 only, B 1 and 2 only, C 1 and 3 only, or D 1, 2 and 3. Let's look at these statements once more to arrive at the answer. The correct answer for this question would be D, that is 1, 2 and 3. All the statements are correct. Now tourists can no longer get too close to the iconic structure in the stone chariot which is in front of the Vijay Vittala temple in the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Hampi. Also, the architectural marvel has been cordoned off by a protective ring by the Archaeological Survey of India. And the Hampi chariot is among 3 famous stone chariots in India. The other 2 are the Konark, Odisha, and Mahabalipuram of Tamil Nadu. Moving on. Hampi is the 14th century capital of the Vijayanagar Empire and it's located in the Tungabhadra basin in the Bellary district of central Karnataka. Also, the temples of Hampi are noted for their large dimensions, florid ornamentations, and bold and delicate carvings and stately pillars, which includes subjects from the Ramayana and the Mahabharata as well. Also, the Mahanavami Dibba, which is a variety of ponds and tanks, and the row of pillared mandapas are some of the other architectural remains. Now, in the year 1986 only, Hampi was declared World Heritage Site by the UNESCO. Right? Moving on to our next question, which says, consider the following statements about the microwave weapons. They are a type of direct energy weapons which aim highly focused energy in the form of sonic or laser at a target. It uses beams of high frequency electromagnetic radiation to heat the water in a human target's skin. Now, which of the statements given above is or are correct? A 1 only, B 2 only, C both 1 and 2, D neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this question is C, that is both 1 and 2. Both the statements are correct. Now, microwave weapons are supposed to be a type of direct energy weapons. Now, they aim highly focused energy in the form of sonic, laser or microwaves at a certain target. Also, it uses beams of high frequency electromagnetic radiation to heat the water in human target skin, causing some sort of pain or discomfort as well. Also, China has first put on display its microwave weapon, which is known by the name of Poly WB-1 at an air show in the year 2014 only. And the United States has also developed a prototype microwave style weapon, which it calls the active denial system. This is the name of the weapon. Also, it can both have acute and very long-term severe effects without leaving signs of any physical damage. Let's move on to the next question. With reference to the Tharu tribes, consider the following statements. First, Tharu tribes belong to the Terai lowlands and are found only in India. Second, they belong to the particularly vulnerable tribal groups or PVTGs. Now, which of the statements given above is or are correct? A 1 only, B 2 only, C both 1 and 2, D neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this question is D neither 1 nor 2. Let's move on to the explanation. The Uttar Pradesh government has recently embarked upon a scheme to put Tharu villages on the tourist map in order to get them economic relief and as well as create jobs and employment. Also, Tharu community, these belongs to the Terai lowland amidst the, where does the Terai lie? Amidst the Shivalik and the lower Himalayas. The Tharus, they live both in India as well as Nepal. In the Indian region, they mostly live in Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar as well. Also, they speak various dialects of Tharu, a language of the Indo-Aryan subgroup, and variants of Hindi, Urdu and Avdi. Also, most of them are forest dwellers and they practice agriculture, and they do not belong to the particularly vulnerable tribal groups, right? Moving on, let's look at our next question. Energy Efficiency Report 2020 was recently released by A. Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, B. Bureau of Energy Efficiency, C. United Nations Environment Programme, D. International Energy Agency. The correct answer for this question is D. International Energy Agency. Now, the Annual Energy Efficiency Report 2020 was recently released by International Energy Agency, and it says that global progress on using more efficient sources of energy, it was set back as a result of the economic impacts of COVID-19 pandemic, and a similar statement was made by the UNEP, United Nations Environment Programme, that by the year 2030 there will be a double in the production of coal, oil and gas. So it's a drawback of the COVID-19 induced lockdown. Investments in the new energy efficient buildings, equipments and vehicles are expected to decline, to come down, because they are not economically and they are not a very affordable substitute for the conventional ones. So since 2015, global improvements in the energy efficiency, as it has been measured by the primary energy intensity, they have also been declining. Also, this is likely to threaten the progress which is needed to achieve the world's targets of addressing the climate change and also the Paris Accord of 2015. Let's move on and look at our next question. Consider the following statements about the Invest India. It is a non-profit venture under the Ministry of Finance. Second, it is India's National Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency and focuses on sector-specific development. Now, which of the statements given above is or are correct? A1 only, B2 only, C both 1 and 2, D neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this question is B, that is 2 only. Moving on to the explanation. The UNICTAD has recently declared Invest India as a winner of 2020 United Nations Investment Promotion Award, and it's a non-profit venture which was set up in the year 2009 under the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade under Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Also, Invest India is India's National Investment Promotion and Facilitation Agency, and it focuses on sector-specific investor targeting and development of new sorts of partnerships to enable sustainable investment in India. Also, let's move on to our next question. With reference to the organic farming, consider the following statements. First, it is a process of agriculture production without the use of synthetic external inputs. Second, Himachal Pradesh was the first state in the world to become fully organic. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A1 only, B2 only, C both 1 and 2, D neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this question is A, that is 1 only. Himachal Pradesh was not the first state. We will discuss about it. So the Union Territory of Lakshadweep after Sikkim is working to become 100% organic. And if we talk about organic farming, what is organic farming? It is a system of farm design and management to create an ecosystem of agriculture production without the use of synthetic fertilizer and pesticides. Also, any sort of hormones or genetically modified organisms are also not included in this particular farming type. Also, Sikkim became the first state in the world to become fully organic in the year 2016, and it also won the award for that. Let's move on to our next question, which says, with reference to Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board, PNGRB, consider the following statements. First, it is a statutory body. Second, it regulates the refining and processing, storage, transportation, distribution, marketing and sale of petroleum products and natural gas. Now, it promotes competitive markets for petroleum as well. Look at the statements. Options. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A1 and 2 only, B2 and 3 only, C1 and 3 only, or D, all of the above? The correct answer for this question is D, all of the above. All of the above statements are correct. Let's move on to the explanation. Now, the Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board has notified a new tariff structure for 14 natural gas pipelines. Now, these aim to reduce the cost of natural gas for users. And the PNGRB, it was constituted under the Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board Act of 2006. Also, the board has been mandated to regulate the refining, processing, storage, transportation, distribution and marketing and sale of petroleum and petroleum products. Also, natural gas is there, but it excludes the production of crude oil as well as natural gas. It protects interest of consumers and entities engaged in specified activities and promotes competitive markets as well. Moving on, let's look at our next question. Consider the following. First, Lo. Second, Europa. Third, Ganymede. Fourth, Titan. Fifth, Callisto. Which of the celestial bodies given above is our moons of Jupiter? Selection of the correct answer should be from the codes given below. A, 1, 2, 3 and 4. B, 1, 2, 3 and 5. C, 2, 3, 4 and 5. D, all of the above. The correct answer for this question is going to be B, that is 1, 2, 3 and 5. Let's move on to the explanation. Now, in a rare celestial event, Jupiter and Saturn, both these planets will be seen very close to each other. This phenomenon is known as conjunction. On 21st December 2020, these two will appear like a one bright star. And astronomers use the term great conjunction to describe this sort of phenomenon, and because two biggest worlds are coming together. And interestingly, it happens every 20 years, and it will be the closest alignment, very closest alignment of Saturn and Jupiter since the year 1623, while the next is predicted to be in 2080. Also, Jupiter has more than 75 moons. The planet Jupiter's 4 largest moons are called the Galilean satellites after the Italian astronomer Galileo Galilei, who first observed them in the year 1610, and these large moons are named as Lo, Europa, Ganymede and Callisto, and each have their distinct worlds. If we talk about Saturn, there are 53 known moons for Saturn, and an additional 29 moons are waiting confirmation, which will bring the number to total of 82 moons. The giant moon Titan belongs to the Saturn planet. Moving on, let's look at our next question. With reference to geographical indication, consider the following statements. First, it is a sign used on products that have a specific geographical origin and possess qualities that are due to that origin. Second, it provides a better market for these products and prevents misuse of the name. Now you have to look at the options. Which of the statements given above are correct? A1 only, B2 only, C both 1 and 2, D neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this question is C, That is both 1 and 2. Both these statements are correct. Moving to the explanation. The Himachal Pradesh government is trying to obtain GIs for 5 products from the state: Karso Kult, Thangi of Pangi, Chamba Metal Crafts, Chamba Chuk, and Rajma of Barmer. Now, the World Intellectual Property Organization defines GIs as a sign used on products that have a specific geographical origin and possess qualities because of their origin from that geographical area. Also, GIs are typically used for certain products such as agriculture products, handicrafts, foodstuffs, wines, spirit drinks, and other industrial products as well, like Darjeeling tea, Kullu shawl, Mysore agarbatti, champagne from France, and Swiss watches are some of the examples. So international level, GIs are covered under as an element of intellectual property rights under the Paris Convention for the Protection of Industrial Property. We have talked about the intellectual property rights and the tussle between the developed and the developing countries for COVID-19 vaccines in our In News segment. You can go and watch there also. Also, they are covered under the trade-related aspects of Intellectual Property Rights Agreement, that is TRIPS. A GI tag provides a better market for these products and prevents misuse of these products. And the name, a GI registration is given to an area and not a trader, but once a GI tag is given, the trader who are dealing in such products can also ask for the GI logo. Now, authorized traders are each assigned a unique identification number, unique GI identification number basically. Let's talk about our next question, please. Bhasan Char Island, recently in the news, is located in which of the following water bodies? We talked about this in our In News series, the last one. A. Andaman Sea, B. Arabian Sea, C. Indian Ocean, or D. Bay of Bengal? The correct answer for this question is D, that is Bay of Bengal. Let's move on to the explanation. Recently, authorities in Bangladesh sent the first group of more than 1,500 Rohingya refugees to an isolated Bhasan Char Island in the Bay of Bengal. It's not even an island, it's a mud flat that is a result of sedimentation from the Meghna River. Also, Bhasan Char is known as floating island, also known as Charpia or Thingar Char. Now, char is the Bengali word for sediment. Okay, now it's an island in Hathia in Bangladesh, and it surfaced only 20 years ago, and it's still vulnerable of subsiding under rising sea levels. Also, it was formed with Himalayas silt or sediment from at the mouth of river Meghna in the year 2006, spanning 40 square kilometers, and the island, which was once regularly submerged by monsoon rains, do have flood protection now, embankments, houses, hospitals, masjids, and the rest. Now, it is underwater from the month of June to September because of the monsoon, and a Google map view has also shown that most of its part is under water, submerged. Now, we will look at its location on the map. Here is Bhasan Char, which is 39 kilometers from mainland Naukhali, right? And this is Cox Bazar. So this particular area has approximately 8 lakh, this particular area has approximately 1 lakh refugees living there. So from here only, the refugees will be relocated to Bhasan Char at the mouth of river Meghna. Alright, let's move on to our next question. Consider the following statements about mining. Open cast mining is a mining technique where miners crawl into winding underground tunnels that are just 4 to 5 feet in diameter to extract coal from the deep seams with a pickaxe. Rat hole mining is a surface mining technique of extracting rocks or minerals from the earth by their removal from an open air pit, sometimes known as a burrow. Now you have to look at the options. Which of the statements given above are correct? A1 only, B2 only, C both 1 and 2, D neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer for this question is D, that is neither 1 nor 2. Both these statements are false. Moving on to the explanation. Now, Molami Liang, which is a village in Meghalaya's East Jaintia Hill district, it's making progress in becoming a greener place amidst abandoned pits, and that those pits are a result of rat hole mining. And Jaintia Coal Miners and Dealers Association, this has claimed that there are around 60,000 coal mines across 360 villages in East Jaintia Hills. Interestingly, rat hole mining was abolished in the year 2014, but it's still very prevalent in these parts of Meghalaya. And rat hole mining is a term which is used for a very hazardous and arduous mining technique where miners crawl into winding underground tunnels, and then they are just 4 to 5 feet in diameter. That is why by the word you can understand by the phrase rat hole. And what do? Extract coal from the deep seams with the help of a pickaxe. Also, open cast mining, if we talk about open cast, by the phrase you can understand, it's a surface mining technique of extracting rocks or minerals from the earth by their removal from the open air pit, sometimes known as burrow as well. Okay, now let's look at our practice question for the next segment. Consider the following statements about World Anti-Doping Agency or WADA. It is an independent agency composed and funded equally by the sports movement and governments of the world. It is involved in scientific research and development of anti-doping capacities. Look at the options. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A1 only, B2 only, C both 1 and 2, D neither 1 nor 2. Look at the statements once more. So, I hope you'll be able to answer it correctly. Tomorrow we shall meet again. That's it for today and stay updated.